Hey, is this thing on? Test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test. Hello?
Well, hello there, friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bloom, and I will be the host of today's tutorial, where we're going to take a look at how you can use alcohol inks on your blooms. There are a couple of important things to note first. Alcohol ink will act as a stain, so make sure you test things out on some junk parts first. You can even use the inside of the head back if you have nothing to spare. However, we will be adding some grab bags to the store as soon as possible, so you can test things out as much as your heart desires. Secondly, we only recommend this technique for blooms because we cannot guarantee the composition of other resin types. Proceed with caution and enjoy. Let's get started. Woohoo! Let's take a look at the things that we're going to need to complete this tutorial. First of all, you will need a set of alcohol inks. Any will do, but we will leave some links in the description. You will also need some rubbing alcohol. In this tutorial, Chelsea is using 91% rubbing alcohol, but you can use anything from 91 to 100%. You will also need a painter's palette or an acetate sheet, a paintbrush, some plastic cups, some paper towel, and you may need some white paint and a toothbrush. A clean one. We don't want mouth juice on our blooms. Now, of course, the last two are entirely optional, but you can take a look at the tutorial and see what you think you're gonna need. Now let's dive in. Let's take a look at Chelsea's footage. She starts by putting some of her alcohol ink into a cup and then she knocks it over. But don't follow that last step. She adds a generous squirt of her alcohol and grabs some paper towel, which is very important because this job is very messy. It's very fun, but it's very messy, kind of like finger painting. That is the first piece of our test subject. That is Mr. Caterpillar. Mr. Caterpillar is one of Chelsea's beautiful creations, and you can find more of her work if you look at Quirky Critters on Etsy or on Instagram. Now, Mr. Caterpillar has already been sanded, so he is ready to take color. Please make sure you do this with your blooms first. If you hear Tilly in the background, please ignore her. She wants to go for a walk, but we can't until this video is over. So now Mr. Caterpillar is going in for that bath. It's not a very clean bath, I must admit, but it is colorful. But make sure you don't leave any of your bloom parts in there for too long. You cannot leave them in alcohol. It's not a good idea. Please don't do it. But you can see that in such a short amount of time, he's already taken a lot of color and is very vibrant. If you're aiming for a solid color item, you will want to make sure that you dry all of these pieces off evenly. Chelsea starts off by blotting off the excess, but then she's going to take a new plastic cup and she's going to put it in there to air dry. If you're aiming for a watercolor finish, then this part doesn't matter as much. But if you're aiming for something solid, please make sure that you dry things off evenly. It's going to make a huge difference. So here she is, she's just swirling it around. She's a very good swirler, Chelsea. And he's going to dry off more evenly this way. There's a fly. Go away, fly. You can see how intense that color is already. It's really, really great. So you don't need to do things for very long at all. It is important that you consider starting off with a light color and then you build to a darker one. You don't want to make things too dark too early and find it hard to lift that color. So start gently and build up over time to create depth of color. Now Chelsea's going to lift some of that because it's a little bit patchy for her liking. So she's now going to take some neat alcohol and she's going to put Mr. Caterpillar in that. And again, she's just swirling him around for a few seconds to make sure that it's getting on all the pieces and all the cracks and all the holes and stuff. But again, do not leave him in there. He will die. You do not want to kill your blooms. Just a little. So you can see a lot of that color is lifted now, and it's a lot more solid and even. It's a beautiful, beautiful periwinkle. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Mr. Caterpillar is getting a glow up. Can you believe this Mr. Caterpillar used to be completely white already? And it's only taken a few minutes. And he's already so pretty. I'm gonna speed up the drying process just a little bit because you will figure out the best way to dry your own blooms. I don't think you need a tutorial on how to make things dry. But paper towel will help you, and so will air drying in cups. Oh, you can see how he's not patchy anymore. It's really good. So Chelsea is now putting Mr. Caterpillar in order of size because she's got that pipe cleaner in her hand and she's going to thread him onto that. This will make it much easier for her to hold while she adds all the cool details. So if you were aiming for a solid color, that's all you have to do. But Chelsea's going to take this Mr. Caterpillar to a whole new level. So if you want more, stick around. So here she is lining him up, and then she's going to thread him onto that pipe cleaner. I'm going to speed it up because you don't need to see that, but you get the idea. Okay, I think we're ready now. Mr. Caterpillar looks like a little bluebell or something. He's so pretty. Now, the acetate sheet comes in handy. She's going to put some of the alcohol ink directly onto that. With a paintbrush, she's going to start doing little random dabs. This does not have to be a precise technique, which is why it's so fun. You don't have to be precise at all. So she's just going to dab on bits of that color. She's going to do bits of blue as well. And later on, she's going to add dabs of pink. But there's no rhyme or reason to the placement. You just dab, dab, dab. It's very fun. Now you will see that she dips that paintbrush a few times throughout this. Now this is just pure alcohol in there, and it's going to help those colors to blend together and create that watercolor effect. It's very beautiful. So if you want to mix the colors, or you need a bit more fluidity, you're going to add some of that. You're going to add some of the alcohol, just like she did there. You might want to blot it a little. And it's just going to dilute and blend. Just like that. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm very clumsy. So the idea of doing things that are very perfect and intricate and fine is very hard for me. But this technique is very simple. It's great. You just have to be sure that you like the colors that you're using. That's important. But it's very, very easy. And it's really effective. Make sure you get the underside as well. You may prefer to do it one side and then the other. It's up to you. If you're using the pipe cleaner technique, that would work really well on tails, like foxglove's tail or any of the small tails. Oh, she's going to add some pink now, which really pops on there. It's really great. And that color kind of bleeds out into the other ones, and it starts to look a little bit like a nebula. You know, like a space caterpillar. You know, they found those space slugs on Pluto. It's kind of like that, but it's a caterpillar. Beautiful space caterpillar, yeah. So there she's added violet and sapphire blue, and now she's adding that pink. I'm not sure of the name. And they just work so beautifully together because I think something that's very important for this is that you use colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. If you start using colors that are opposite each other, things are gonna neutralize, they're gonna muddy, and they're not gonna pop like this. So make sure that you're using colors next to each other on the color wheel. I'm gonna post one in the description just so you can see for your reference. Hopefully that will help. And hopefully you get the idea. Very simple, very fun, very effective. There, wow. Yeah, that was great. Chelsea, don't forget that caterpillar booty. Yeah, that's it. Make sure you get the booty, guys. And take a look at that. Wow. Again, it's such an amazing quick transformation from the white caterpillar. And that's why I really like this technique. I think the pink looks really, really good with this too. And now she's going to repeat the process with Mr. Caterpillar's legs and his face. He's getting some nice little pink on his face, some nice color on his face. Do you think he's blushing because he saw us? I think he's real cute. And again, don't forget the booty. Chelsea, what you doing with that bird poop? Yuck! Bleh! No one likes bird poop. I'm just kidding, of course. That is the optional white paint. And the clean. Note the word clean. Clean toothbrush. And she's loading up her toothbrush. And with the flick of a thumb, she's just gonna coat him with a pretty little layer of stars. So that he really does become a space caterpillar. Again, this part is very optional, but I think it's got such an amazing effect. Look at that. Wow, like a night sky. And of course, nebulas come in so many different colors. You could do a big assortment of colors. You could do yellow and red and orange. That would look good. And you could do yellow. You could do yellow and green and blue. Or like this one, which is blue and pink and purple. You got lots of different choices. You can make something really unique. That's a nice little close-up there. Wow, I love it. You will, of course, want to spray and protect your work after it's done. And don't forget the booty. But after, we're going to take a look at another technique, which is going to show you how you can achieve a rainbow ombre, which is super cool for a rainbow caterpillar. Or you could use that technique on a tail, or maybe like going up the leg if you want some sort of like a confetti with sunset legs. That would be fun. And that's the final product. At the very, very end, we'll post some pictures so you can see how Mr. Caterpillar turned out in his full glory. So let's get on to the next portion of this tutorial. So, okay, now we're on to step 2. This is going to be the rainbow one. And that's a fresh caterpillar. He's nice and clean and sanded. He's ready to go. You can see the colors at the back there. Remembering color theory, we're going from the pink to the purple to the blue to the green to the yellow to the red. And that's going to look spectacular. So this time Chelsea's starting with the faces. She is just putting some of that alcohol ink straight onto her sheet. She's dipping her brush in her alcohol, and she's just blending out those edges. Just dabbing it on, blending out the edges. I'm gonna speed through this just a little bit because it's very similar to the first step. So we can look at that rainbow effect there. So here we go, we're gonna start in that rainbow now. She's got her rose hip, and then she's going into that magenta right there. And then we're back to the violet that we used in the first one. That's gonna fade into that one. Just remember to keep dipping your brush in your alcohol. So there she's going into her sapphire blue. And you can see she's remembering her color theory. She's going from pink to violet to blue. And because this is sped up a little, you can see it drying real quick. And you can see how good that effect is. It's really something. Like a beautiful watercolor painting. I think it's just so pretty. So that's kind of like a turquoise color there. And she's just dabbing it on. You can be really casual with it. You don't have to be super precise. That's the beauty of this technique. So for this, it looks like she's doing half of each piece in one color. I'm blending it through to the next color. Maybe with one solid one in between. That's the emerald green there. What's your favorite color? In case you can't tell, I quite like pink. I think pink is pretty. And I think she's gonna go from that green now into a yellow. I think yellow is a great color too. I really like yellow. And so that's green to yellow, and then it will be yellow to poppy red, which will kind of blend together to go orange in the middle. I think the colors are just amazing. Look at that rainbow now. And she ends with the pink that she started with. Okay, now let's put some photos up of what that looks like at the end. So there you have it, folks. That's how you use alcohol inks on your blooms. We hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you use this technique, we'd love it if you would tag us on social media at Frappzilla or at munchers, so we can see your beautiful work and maybe even feature you too. Enjoy! Oh, I forgot one last thing. If you haven't already, please feel free to join our Discord server. There are lots of very, very friendly people. Everyone is very creative and very kind to each other. We hope that you will join our wholesome family over there, and if you have any questions, there will always be someone who is willing to help. See ya!